Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to Talk Time with Pastor Krista. Today, I have a few things in front of me that we are going to use to learn our lesson. So I have a nice juicy red apple, I have a cutting board, and I also have a very sharp knife. And that knife is what I'm going to use to cut my apple. Now, why an apple? Well, we can learn a lot of lessons about Jesus and about God from an apple. And I bet you didn't know that. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this apple. Usually when I cut an apple, you cut down this way and you cut it into 4 sections. But today I'm going to do something different. And I am going to cut my apple right down the middle. And when I do that, and I don't know if you can see that, but if you look inside, the seeds form a star. And a star is very important in Christianity because a star is what the wise men used in the sky to see where baby Jesus was going to be. So next time you cut an apple, I want you to cut it, instead of cutting it the long way, cut it the short way and see if you can find that star. Now, what is it in the apple that makes up the star? If I dig a little bit with my knife and I pick one of these out, now remember they're cut in half, so they probably won't be whole. But what I find, and I'm going to see if I can pick it up with my big fat fingers here, I don't know if you could see that, but it's an apple seed. Now this seed, if I were to eat this, it's not really going to do my body any harm. When I was little, I used to think if by mistake I ate an apple seed that maybe an apple tree would grow in my belly, but we know that that's just silly. But did you know that this apple seed contains a little bit of poison? Yeah, how about that? This apple seed has a tiny little bit of poison in it, but it's so tiny and so little that if we by mistake eat an apple seed, nothing's going to happen to us because our body is so big and made so amazingly that that won't happen and it won't hurt us. But I want you to look at what is around all of those seeds. What is around it is the fruit of the apple. And so the fruit of the apple is what contains the seeds. Now think about this, boys and girls. Every once in a while, something bad happens, like a little bit of poison in our life, like in this tiny little seed. Some things happen. Sometimes people act in a way that isn't polite to us. Maybe they might be a little rude. They might not be very considerate. And sometimes we're exposed to things that are a little trying and a little rough. But we have to realize that that little tiny bit of nastiness that happens sometimes in our life, it really shouldn't worry us because we have this wonderful body that God created. We have the fruit of the Spirit. Remember, we talked about the fruit of the Spirit that surrounds us. And when we are surrounded by that fruit of the Spirit, when we're surrounded by Jesus Christ and the love of God, nothing like that little tiny bit of badness, that little tiny bit of poison that's in the apple seed is ever going to hurt us because God is always around us to protect us. And that fruit of the Spirit is really juicy and yummy, and it's really good. So we are going to read our scripture today from the book of Galatians. The book of Galatians was written by a man named Paul, and it's taken from the New Testament. It's actually taken from the end of the New Testament. And I'm going to open up to Galatians. I have it with my trusty Pastor Krista bookmarker. And this is what it says. It says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such, there is no law. It doesn't have to be a law against love because love is an awesome thing. Doesn't have to be a law against joy or peace or patience or kindness or goodness. Think of how good all those words are. Or faithfulness or gentleness or self-control. Because when we get a little bit of that bad in our life, like that apple seed holds a little bit of poison, a little bit of bad, if we have all these other fruits of the Spirit surrounding us, nothing's going to harm us. Because if we love the way Jesus taught us to love, if we find joy in every day, if we work hard to find a peace inside of us, if we're patient and kind with each other, if we look to see the goodness around us, and if we give goodness to other people, if we're faithful to God, and if we exercise self-control, if we make sure that we don't overdo when we're not supposed to, if we make sure that we keep up with our studies on our Bible, then for sure, that's tiny little bit of bad things that happen, that is never going to harm us. So today, I bet you can figure out which song we're going to sing, because we're going to sing a song about the fruit of the Spirit. So here we go. And we are going to use, guess what? An apple. Here we go. The fruit of the Spirit's not an apple. The fruit of the Spirit's not an apple. If you want to be an apple, you might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the Spirit. The fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So you have a wonderful day. And I want you to remember, when those tiny little bad things happen, think of that little apple seed with that little tiny bit of poison in it that will never hurt us, because of all the good fruit of the Spirit that lies in us and around us when you love Jesus Christ. So you have a wonderful, snowy Tuesday morning, and we will see you on Thursday. Let's do our benediction with a mouthful. Here we go. Ready? My heart loves your heart because Jesus first loved us. Have an awesome day, and I will see you on Thursday. Bye, boys and girls.